Well, hello to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Today I am going to be creating gold and silver table centers and decorative pieces for a winter party. Now, my client is also having Christmas flowers next week. They're having a party this week and then they're having a house full of flowers for Christmas next week. So it's my job as the florist to make sure they don't have the same thing twice. Try and rev it up a little bit. The party they're having this weekend is not Christmassy. However, it's a party and it is a week before Christmas. So I'm conscious that it is likely to be quite gloomy weather, that we need to lighten it all. And I'm also conscious that while I've ordered up some lovely white flowers from my colleagues at WB Yeats in Cornwall, because I only use British grown flowers only, I have quite a lot of gold in my garden. So I've got white flowers coming up from Cornwall and gold and silver in the garden. So let's go foraging, see what we can find. And then the flowers that are coming from Cornwall they're almost going to be just little sparkly stars in the mix. It will be what we forage, which gives us this gold and silver base. Obviously, I'm not using any spray, no floral foam. This is all sustainable floristry. So if you're interested in increasing the sustainability look, feel, and reality of your Christmas decorations, then do follow on. I haven't harvested all this material and brought it in to dry. I've sold all my dried material because that's my job. As a flower farmer, I'm supposed to get stuff out, but I know that there's more up the field. There will be a delicacy to it because it will have been weathered more. But I quite like that, so I'm going to work with what I've got and we're going to go silver and gold. The golden apples of the sun and the silver apples of the moon. Is that the right quote? I don't know. Anyway, come on, let's go cutting. And if you're new to the channel, you're very welcome. Please do subscribe, press the bell icon, and we'll tell you when we've got more clips coming up. And if any of the tips and tricks I give you along the way are useful, you can always buy me a coffee, or better still, join my club. The links to coffee buying and club membership are in the blurb to all my clips. Right, let's get going. Right, the flowers have arrived. Thank you, APC and BJ Richards. But I'm not going to unpack them now. They can wait. I'm going harvesting first. And I'm going harvesting first because I can't harvest in the dark, but I can do floristry in the dark. And it is December. It gets dark really early. So although it's only 10:30, still I'm going to get out there and get everything in, and then I know what I've got. But for the gold in this mixture, we're looking for contrast so that the gold shows up, and this is the seed head of, it's called fleabane, and it's a kind of tansy, and it grows wild around here. We're very marshy, it likes to grow wild, and so I'm going to cut lots of fleabane for my mix. The dark background will kind of disappear, but you'll see these little golden flowers in the mix. Not especially golden, but structurally interesting wild sorrel seed heads. I love them. Ooh, I think I'll have some of these lovely tall marshmallow seed heads. Are they silvery or gold? What do you think? Look how tall they are. Growing through the box. Can I just say, don't worry, friends, I am not harvesting my entire garden. There is plenty left to keep the birds, the bees. No, the bees are asleep, but the birds and the beetles and all the people who are feasting on these seed heads through the winter. Ne vous inquiétez pas, il y en a. Here it's very much a question of share and share alike. The point of the exercise of Common Farm Flowers is to make an eco-paradise for a food chain to function really, really nicely. And for a food chain to function really nicely, you have to start with the invertebrates and go all the way up to the barn owls. And and include us too. So if we break the chain, that's why we don't use any herbicides or pesticides, and we look after the place from the soil up. Anyway, enough of my high horse. I can do high horse on a soapbox, given the opportunity. So I'll hold fire for the moment and cut some of these lovely wild asters. Oh, lovely silvery brachioglottis. Let's cut 50 stems. Ah yes, plenty of silver and gold up here. Grasses, hydrangeas. Let's at 'em. And look at the glorious colour of this pheasant grass. Just say yes. Oh yes, and I'll have some of this gorgeous miscanthus. Look at the movement in it. Plenty of lovely silvery gold in there. And what's left of the hydrangeas for golden? All the really big heavy ones have all been sold, which is great because these more delicate, they have been bashed a bit by the weather. So they're sort of a bit more skeletal, a bit less heavy. They've dried, so again, they've shrunk a bit, but they make gorgeous golden. Let's cut some of these. And finally, I'm calling this gold. On another day, I might easily call it copper, but today, it is golden willow. Look at the colour. It's great, isn't it? Right, so here are my ingredients for my gold and silver arrangements. Sorry about the blue plastic crate in the background, little gritty realism for you there. But you can see how it's going to be really a lovely mix. And I had hoped for white tulips from Smith & Munson, but they won't be ready till next week, so I'll have them next week. And clearly, BJ Richards have run out of paper whites because there are no paper whites. But I'm not unhappy. I think this is going to be absolutely stunning. And I've turned on some backlighting so you get an idea of what they might look like when they're together and in a lit. They're actually, the main event is a lunch party, a winter lunch party. And so you can see how they're going to be lit by the smart lighting, which I'm imagining this house has. Next job, wash all the vases and all the jars and get them all ready, because it's not all floristry. You got to do the washing up first. You can't, and even if you wash them up and put them on the shelf and don't touch them, they need washing up and polishing again on account of there will be a week's worth of dust or something. Anyway, I like my glassware to be very shiny. And so every time I use it, it gets a wash and a polish. I know. Right, I'm going to do the big ones first. There are 4 of them. I'll line them up and I'm going to put you on what some people really hate me calling the whizzy, but I can never remember what it's called. The thing where it speeds everything up quickly. And then I expect I'll choose some music which some of you will like and some of you won't. And then I'll do the posies. So I'm going to do the 4 big ones first, and on we go. Just have to show you quickly what I mean by the light. So they're sort of silver apples of the moon, golden apples of the sun. There is the sun going down out of the window. The camera's really not doing the light in here justice at all. But They just need a little bit of pudging, so a few more stems to go in. I'm not going to put all of the dried material I've cut, but I love the light of what I've got. It's very, very light. Funnily enough, the green material is what's giving us the base, what little green there is. And then all of the dry is sort of springing out of the arrangements. Funnily enough, it's the dried material that's making them very, very full of life, I think. I mean, I know this is it's quite fashionable to do this mix of dried and living. And it's not Christmassy, but for a lunch party in mid-December, the week before Christmas, there's a sort of hint. And it's very, very close to the solstice. And so, again, there's a feeling of season past, season to come. You're not supposed to really love your own work, are you? But sometimes I do. Right, so in very common farm flowers manner, I'm going to put these aside now, and I'm going to make 2 different sizes of posies. I'm making a real mess in here. 2 different size posies. When the posies are done, these will get pudged. Pudging is a technical term for just, fiddling around to make sure that they're finished. Weirdly, the light in here makes them look less good on film. In real life, I cannot tell you, I couldn't be more pleased with these. With all the twiggery pokery, I mean, to have, and also the kind of, the revolutionary in me really likes the fact that all of these wildflower seed heads, wild sorrel, are going to be a centerpiece in this very smart country lunch party. I don't know what, that's very unfair of me. My client has obviously got exceptional taste on account of they've been using me as their florist for years. So I don't know why I should be so pleased about that. Right, it's the next morning and I'm all finished. And it's always worth thinking about the light when you're doing party flowers, considering the light at the time of day when the flowers are going to be seen close up. And it's 10:10. These flowers are really for a lunch party on Saturday. And so the light is not going to be very different from this. And even though I don't know the room they're going to be in, I'm imagining that there won't be a huge amount of electric light. It'll be cool light like this, cool grey low light. And so what I've made, I love them. I can't tell you how much. Every now and again I make something I really, really love. So here are the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun. And you see how the dried material in comparison with the living white material is very golden. I mean, it's very unlikely. Of course I won't hear anything from my client because they're busy doing their thing and they expect to be delivered what they've asked for and they don't consider that they need to endlessly talk to me about everything. But I really hope that everybody absolutely loves these. So these are the table centers. There are 5 of these quite fat posies. I just stand here going round and round and round. 5 fat posies, and they'll be just in a runner down the table. And then I've made similar but smaller. So these are the house flowers, just dinky versions of the same. So the theme runs through the larger arrangements, which are now right at the back of my prepped area. So these huge, big vases, and then fat posies for the tables, and then small vases to be dotted about the house. Oh, yes. When a plan comes together, that's the skill with floristry is, your client, especially in my case, this client is a very, very good client of mine. They've been a client of mine for years and years and years. And they just trust me. They just say, oh yeah, can I have white, or can I have, this is what I fancy, or this is the occasion. And then they leave it up to me. And as a florist, if you can make it so that you have fun creating something a little bit different, not endlessly repeating, within the parameters of whatever the client has asked for, you will enjoy your job. Anyway, there we are. Not quite Christmas yet, but a good idea if you are thinking of Christmas. Go around your garden and see what you've got dry. What kind of twiggery pokery. This was all in the garden. This has not been hung up in the studio for weeks and weeks and weeks, drying out. This is just whatever I had. Look, here are the asters, the little dried asters. Oh, I just love them. And the wild sorrel, is my favourite bit. And here's the pheasant grass has gone into the posies. I love it. To go and have a look and see what you've got. By all means, see if you can find some locally grown flowers. So these are Cornish, relatively local to me. And my principle is that I will only use British grown flowers in my floristry year round. And I don't grow flowers all year round. We freeze quite hard. Also, I get tired. I'm a very small artisan business. So I don't grow flowers, have flowers growing for cutting in the winter. So I let my Cornish colleagues take the strain, and don't they do it well? So what are the parameters within which you will function? Whether you're a garden florist and you're just using things, making creations for your house, or if you're a more serious florist making things for sale. What are the parameters? I love, make yourself some parameters because it forces you to be more creative. There you are. Right, put these down. On I go. I'll just give you a little view. So the big ones, I've actually had to take one of them away because there wasn't room. But the big ones go all the way up to the ceiling. Very tall. And they are silver and gold. And the smaller ones, interestingly, the smaller they get, the more silver and gold they get. I like that they are more silvery and more goldy, the smaller. But I've always liked small things. I like, when I was little, I had dolls' houses. I still have dolls' houses. Anyway, there is a lovely idea for winter flowers. You could do it for your Christmas table, but equally any winter event, winter occasion. Look how they catch the light. So thank you very much for watching. There is a whole list on here. There's a playlist of Christmas ideas for Christmas flowers. So do have a look, or Christmas decorations. So do have a look at the other things on the list. And I'm not done yet. I have got, I will be before Christmas comes. So we're the 14th of December. So I haven't made my own wreath yet. So that's coming up. My Christmas shopping in this little area of Somerset is going to be fun and frantic. I will be doing more Christmas flowers and arranging decorating my own house. I haven't decorated the house yet. All coming up on the churb. Anyway, have a lovely day, everybody, and I'll see you very soon.